Last week, we started with the books of account, and by way of revision, we stated the point that books of account are documents or accounts that are used to keep the financial transactions of a business. We indicated that there are two main books of account, i.e. the day books and the ledgers. We explored what day books are, the number of day books we'll look at, the ledgers, and then what the ledgers are also used for. So today we want to look at some of the day books and how to prepare these day books. Okay, so let's go straight ahead and look at the day books we want to prepare today. Okay, but before we do that, let me conceptualize some of the things we discussed last week. Okay, so we spoke of books of account, okay, and we said there are two main books of account. Permit me to use letters in representing the full name. So we have day books and we have ledgers, right? Under the day books, we saw how many? 7, and I think professors can mention the 7 for me quickly. Professors, what were the 7 day books we saw? Yes, anybody to list them for me? Portia, if you are ready, you can list them for me.
Okay, you said please purchases day book.
So we have the purchases day book.
Sales day book.
Okay. You have the sales.
Return inwards day book.
Return inwards.
Outwards.
Return outwards.
Cash book.
The cash book.
Then petty cash book.
Petty cash book.
Yeah.
The final one is
the general journal.
Okay, thank you. So these were the 7 day books we saw. Now today the focus will be on the first 4, which are purchase day book, sales day book, return inwards day book, return outwards day book. Why? Because these books have the same format, okay? As in the columns are the same for these. So quickly, let me draw the format of these day books we are going to look at today. And please pay attention. So if you pick the sales day book or purchase day book or return inwards or return outwards day book, it has a title. So first you put the title. Permit me with my lines. I may not have straight lines, permit me, but I'll do my best. Okay. So there you have it. Okay. So the name of the day book you are preparing, if it's sales day book, purchase day book, you put it there. The first column will take, as usual, the date column. Okay. Then the second column will take the particulars. There are certain columns we would ignore, like the invoice number and the folio. Okay, we'll ignore these things because in the course of we preparing these day books, those things will not come up. They manifest in the real world or office. But for the purposes of knowledge, I think I'll show you these columns, but we are not going to pay attention to them. So after the date, we have the details or the particulars. Then we have the invoice number and folio. Then after that, we have another important column, which is the details. And finally, the amount column. So let me indicate these things in there. So we have the date, you have particulars, then you have details, and amount. Yeah, somebody has a question. Please hold on. Let me explore. Then we have the last column, amount. So the sales journal, purchase journal, return invoice journal have these same columns. Okay, so these four has the same columns. Please take note of them. Okay, now we are used to the dates. What about the particulars? The particulars will keep the names of the customers or the suppliers, and maybe specific description of the items. Maybe we bought iron rods, we bought cement, we bought nails, whatever. Okay. Then the details column here is used for workings, as in, for example, if you bought 10 bags of cement, 50 iron rods, okay, then you have to do some calculations and accumulate the total amount involved. So the amount column takes the final figure. Note also that when you buy or sell, there's a possibility that you give discount, and I think we'll explore that discount later. Okay, you give a discount, but I'm sure professors, you appreciate that discount is a reduction of the price, an allowance. Okay, you are allowing something off the price. So if it is 100 cedis, you can allow the person 20 cedis, meaning the person will pay 80 cedis. So you work out all these discounts in here at the details column before you put the final amount at this column. So these are the four main columns you need to remember: date, particulars, details, and amount. So in questions where you don't have to do serious calculations, additions, and subtractions, you might ignore the details column. Okay. However, you bring it. If the calculations are there, you do it. If they are not there, it doesn't spoil anything. Okay, let me take a question from the person who wanted to ask the question. Please, question who was going to ask the question, is that Portia or Akodi? Please ask your question and let's move on. Or is the person okay? Somebody wanted to ask a question. Okay, let me check the chat. Probably the person put it in the chat. What is the meaning of L/F? That's the folio, the ledger folio I'm talking about. I think I mentioned this the last time. A folio is a reference, okay? It's a reference column. It tells you, you know, in accounting, when we do a debit, we do a corresponding credit. So when you do the debit, the folio in that account will tell you where you can find the corresponding credit. Okay, so if you go to the account office and you check their folio column, sometimes you see something like, okay, SL5, where SL5 is sales ledger and the 5 is the page. So it means that if you want the corresponding account and the corresponding entry, open to the sales ledger page 5. So the folio is a reference column. For us as students, we don't prepare the folio column because you don't have to be referring. Your sheet is like just 5 pages and you don't have to be referring to page 10 or whatever. That's why we ignore the folio column. Okay. So Portia, thank you for that question. So professors, this is the format of the sales daybook, purchases daybook, return invoice daybook, and return outwards daybook. What do we have to do next? Let's try and solve some illustration by recording some of these things. But before that, let's appreciate that the sales daybook is only used to record credit sales, professors. credit sales. Please take good note of that. Okay, it's only used to record credit sales. So it's only when you sell on credit. If you sell and you took cash, please, it will not go into the sales daybook. Let's take note of that. For the purchase daybook, say only credit purchases, right? And then for the return inwards and return outwards, I believe professors are aware. So let me give you a sample here. So for example, the sales journal, this is how it looks like when you prepare the book. So as I indicated to you, the date, the details, or the particulars, okay, the detail column for calculations. So the particulars will take the names of the customers, the items we bought, etc. Okay. So this is a typical example here. On 1st January 2002, we sold goods to Kwesi on credits. The amount involved was 2,000. On 5th January, we sold to Amma. The amount involved was what? 1,500. Now, please note, when you are done, you need to sum up all the credit sales. And so that is what you see here, 3,500, which represent total credit sales. Total credit sales. Professors, are we okay? Or if there are questions, let me pause to pick up a few questions. Okay, so in order not to make it so complicated, let's take an example, okay, and prepare the sales daybook or the sales journal. Okay, so let me have believe my professors can see the question. Let's look at question 14.2a. Question 14.2a. Let me make it so visible for all professors. I'll need someone to read it for us. Question 14.2a. Please, who would read a question for us? This question. Just a small question for us to try our hands on. Yes. We have Kentucky here. Kentucky, are you here? Yes. Please, can you read the question for us?
Enter up the sales daybook from the following details. Post the items to the relevant accounts, the sales ledger, and then show the transfer to the sales account in the general ledger.
Okay. So basically, this is how the questions come. They will ask you to prepare the daybook and post to the ledgers. I want us to appreciate how to prepare the daybook. Then we'll look at how you post into the ledgers. Okay. So the transactions occurred in the year 20x8. The month was March. So let me set up my daybook here on my right hand side. So the columns are dates, particulars, details, and amount. Okay. Okay, so let me put the title. We are preparing the sales daybook. So the first column is your date. Second is particulars. the details. Okay, so there you have it. So the first transaction occurred on what date? As you all see, first March, right? So you put in the date, 1st March 20x8. The particulars is the name of the customer. Remember, credit sales are to customers who eventually become our debtors, right? So in the 1st March transaction, the customer there is IHood. IHood. So we put, okay, I think Lord has a question. Lord, please go ahead.
Please, my teacher once taught me that the details is the same as the particulars, and in this case, I don't understand. And he said the details column, you write net amount over there, and then you do all your calculations over there. But in this situation, you've written particulars and details. Please, I don't understand.
It seems you didn't get the point I made. I said the details column are for the calculations, as you just stated, your teacher told you, say. Okay, so I'm saying that sometimes when you sell to the customers, you can give them what we call discount, trade discount. So then it becomes necessary for you to do all those calculations there. Now, the issue about particulars and details are the same. Yes, in your T account, you remember we told you, in place of particulars, you can put what? Details. But here in the day books, we try to separate the two so that the particulars will take the name of the customers and the items you buy, maybe cement, iron rods, paint, whatever. But the detail column takes the calculations or the workings. Okay. So for example, if in this case we sold the goods to IHood, let's say 250, and we're told that we gave IHood a discount, a reduction. Okay, then what this is how it's going to show. For the purposes of clarity, let me do that. We are going to less the discount. Okay, where do you put that description, less discount? Under the particulars. Okay, maybe 10%. We gave him a 10% reduction. So we'll do the calculation. 10% of 250 is what? 25. So you are going to less that figure 25 before the final figure, okay, comes to the amount column. And here 250 minus 25 will be 225. So the details column is for calculations or for workings, if I should say it. Okay, in some books, instead of the details, you see workings. It's the same thing. Okay, so that column is meant for calculations, subtractions, additions that you have to do, probably because you bought items that require that you do those calculations. So Lord Listover, I think your teacher and myself, we are speaking the same thing. I don't know if you appreciate it now, or you are still confused.
Please, I'm not confused.
You are. So I didn't hear you. Can you take it again? You said you are.
Yeah, please, I understand everything.
Okay. Okay, so in this case, IHood, we are back to the question, so don't get confused. We sold to IHood 250. So we didn't give any discount. There's no calculations for us to do. So the details column will not take anything there. We put the 520. So it was 520, not 250. Good. Please, under your amount column, always make sure you put in the currency. It's very, very important. Here the currency is pounds. So let me get the pounds currency onto my amount column. If you don't do it, you lose precious cake. Always put your currency there. Good. Then we'll go to the next one. So that will be for the first transaction. The second transaction happened on the 3rd of March, same year, 20x8. This time we sold to S Bell. Okay, we don't have to do any calculations. The amount is 318. Right, so let's continue. The next was that was on 5th March 20x8. That was to J Smart. So J Smart's 64 pounds. Please, in writing your figures, okay, always make sure that your ones follow, your tens follow, and then your hundreds follow, like this. Okay, it's very important when you are presenting your answers for marking. Okay, the next was on the 7th of March 20x8. So it's that simple. You just put in the detail, the date, the particulars, and you are done. 540. We'll look at the next example, which has the discount, so I can take the opportunity to explain. 16th March 20x8. That was to T Todd. That is 360. And the last one. Last one was, okay, sorry, the last one. I think I've missed some figures here. J Smart 64, K bias is 165. 165. And T Todd is rather the 540. 540 for T Todd. Then the next person was on the 23rd March 20x8. 360. Then we have the last one to go. Thirtieth March 20x8. F lock 2040. So when you are done like this, you need the total. It's very important. You need to sum your total here in your daybook. So please, with the calculator, can you sum 520, 318, 64, 165, 540, 360, then 2040. What is the total? Oh, nobody with a calculator to do it for us? Of Nadum Esilfi. And Josephine, you can confirm the figure for us when he does that. Or better still, whoever has the figure can give it to us for the sake of time.
4,007.
Okay, so we have 4,007 pounds. 4,007 pounds. Great. Now, please, you need to label this total, right? So as I indicate, under your particulars column, this is total credit sales. Now, you don't end there. This total credit sales, please listen. Remember, I told you that when you record in your day books, you post to your ledgers. Okay, I gave the example. If you write in your jotter, you transfer to your main note. So the same scenario here. If you record in the day book, you transfer to the ledgers. So for the sales daybook, you see these individual customers who are now owning the business because we sold goods to them. We are going to transfer or post. We are going to post the individual debtors or customers account into the sales ledger. And if you remember, we said the sales ledger keeps account of debtors. So you are going to post iHood, SBL, JSmarts, etc.'s account into the sales ledger. Then the total sales, the total credit sales, you also post that one. Okay, you post the total credit sales to the sales account in the general ledger. What is the general ledger? We said that one keeps all other accounts that cannot be kept in the other 5 ledgers. And for the purposes of clarity, let me go back to the ledgers so professors will appreciate what we discussed last time. So these were the 5 ledgers. The sales ledger, that will keep account of the debtors. The purchase ledger keeps account of creditors. The cash book keeps cash and bank. The general ledger keeps all other accounts that cannot be kept in the other ledgers. Okay. So focusing on the sales ledger, we are going to transfer all the account of these customers or debtors into the sales ledger. And then the total sales, okay, we post or transfer it to the general ledger using the closing date of the period. So here the period we looked at was March, right? So March has a closing date of 31st, 20x8. So total credit sales posted to sales account in the general ledger. And you have to give all these particulars to earn your marks. Okay. Total credit sales posted to the sales account in the general ledger. So professors, that is also to tell you that the sales account is kept in the general ledger. Students get confused and always say the sales account is kept in the sales ledger. No. In the sales ledger, we keep debtors like Kofi, iHood, SBL, KY Limited. Okay, sales account is kept in the general ledger. Okay, so this is how you prepare your sales daybook. It is the same if you were preparing purchases daybook, just that these persons are now going to be suppliers or customers, and your narrations will change here. That will be total credit purchases posted to purchases account in the general ledger. Please, any questions? Any questions before we end this first session? Any questions? Okay, so in the next session, we are going to solve the second question, which has the discount, so that you look at how the discount also plays out when you are preparing your daybook. And so I'm sure, Lord, the issue about the calculations and the workings, you would appreciate it more when we look at the second question under the details column.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, professors, if there are no questions, let's join the second and final session to continue our discussion. Thank you.